South Carolina Senator Tim Scott announcing that he is running for president in 2024. Yahoo Finance's Rick Newman joining us now for more on that. Rick, the field's starting to look a little bit crowded. Lots of talk about whether or not DeSantis, when he's going to throw his hat in the ring. But what do you think this means here for the next year and a half and the future here of the GOP?
I think it's expected. We are definitely going to see a crowding field. Tim Scott has presidential ambitions. We've known this before. The party has kind of put him on a bit of a pedestal. He's delivered some of the important speeches, for example. He's got a compelling personal story, rags to riches. He's the only black Republican in the Senate. He's widely viewed as a nice guy, Reagan-esque conservative, and he's trying to run as an alternative to Donald Trump, obviously. Now, one thing he lacks that Trump has is name recognition. He's not famous, and that matters for a lot. I'm sure he's going to come out very low in the polls. Even Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, who's been getting a lot of attention and is probably going to declare his candidacy this week, is running significantly behind Trump. But, this is a volatile election for the Republicans. A lot can change, especially with Donald Trump facing increasing amounts of litigation and possible criminal charges and other kind of legal trouble during the next 6 to 12 months. So doesn't hurt to throw your hat in the ring. And, keep in mind that a lot of people who seem like also-rans in the presidential campaign end up possibly as a vice presidential candidate or a cabinet secretary if the party wins. So I'm sure that's part of what Tim Scott's ambitions are here. Speaking of vice president, we haven't even mentioned Vice President Mike Pence, potential his run as well. It's certainly going to be a crowded field. But what does this all mean in terms of this push to get the big name backers, especially business leaders, at least on the GOP side? So Scott has one huge backer, and that is Larry Ellison, the founder of Oracle. And I think this is going to be a real interesting question: is who gets these big backers who tend to donate tens of millions of dollars and potentially, more than $100 million to a campaign. And that's often through the super PACs that campaign, that run ads and do other things on behalf of a chosen candidate. So Scott is, because of his role on committees in Congress, he has had campaign contributions from some high-profile people, such as Mark Rowan, who's the CEO of Apollo, Yahoo Finance's parent company, and some other, Ken Griffin, co-founder of Citadel, and some other big-name people like that. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to support him in the presidential campaign, because there are a lot of big donors who will support multiple congressional candidates because they're not competing with each other. But when it comes to a presidential campaign, they are all competing with each other. So basically, you have to choose one. So whether those guys will, some of those rich donors will end up choosing Scott, I don't know. An interesting guy to watch is Ken Griffin. He has been a big supporter of DeSantis up till now, but he has also expressed some concern about DeSantis and his anti-business tactics, as many people call them, with regard to Disney. So that would be interesting if Ken Griffin were to defect from DeSantis and start backing somebody else, because he's got deep pockets and a lot of money to donate. All right, Rick Newman, certainly a busy several months ahead for you. Thanks so much. Can't wait.